Hello, book lovers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of KSB's Book Review. Merry Christmas, compliment of the season. I hope you lot enjoyed your Christmas. I know it's 2 days after. I'm just saying Merry Christmas, but Merry Christmas. Hope you guys had fun with your friends, with your family. Hope you guys had Christmas rice, Christmas chicken, Christmas cake. I hope you guys had a good time with your friends and your families. So in today's episode, when I checked the library, I didn't see a Christmas book to review. I apologize greatly for it's the Christmas season. I'm supposed to review a Christmas book, but the book I'm reviewing with you today is Alex Rider, um, Never Say Die, written by Horowitz. But there's actually an important family-based lesson that can also relate to Christmas in this book, but we'll get to that later in the video. So, Horowitz is a German author. He's one of Germany's best-selling author, and this book is a best-selling novel. It's a series, right? It has 11 books under the series, and I think this is the 11th book. I'll have to go back, make my research, find book 1 to 10 to read, because this book was actually very interesting. And so yeah, this book, Alex Rider, book 11, Never Say Die, is about the teenage spy who feels like he has gone on a lot of adventures, and he feels like it's finally time for him to live a quiet life and just settle down, focus on his studies, tertiary institution, and just put the spy life behind him. But he receives an email that makes him want to spurt back into action. He has a comrade who apparently died in action, right? So that comrade of his was a very, very close friend, and then that email states is just a 3-word email, but the life that it spurs back into him, thinking that his friend could be alive, the chances of his friend being alive, he decides to investigate, go on this last adventure and see where he will take him, see whether his friend was alive or not. Different adventure. The book was actually described on the cover of the book. It was described as action, adrenaline, and adventure. Right here, action, adrenaline, and adventure, and the book gives you just that. The action, the adrenaline. He's a young lad, but the adventure, kind of adventures he went on, the kind of terrorism he had to fight at such a young age. And this book is very engaging, very interesting, because there were a lot of battles, involved, obstacles that I had to fight to be able to unlock certain mysteries. And this book like when the book says adventure, action, and adrenaline, the book gives us just that. So that is what Never Say Die is about. My favorite part of the book, my favorite is his never give up attitude. No matter how many things he's faced with, he always has that ability to always conquer all objectives. No matter how difficult an objective man looks, he always has that back of his mind. He always has this optimistic mindset that he always knows that things are always possible for him, and it always works out for him in the end. Another thing, the favorite thing, the lesson I wanted to talk about, that I talked about at the beginning of the video, that relates to Christmas from this novel, is family. Alex Rider is a very family oriented person. He loves hanging out with his family, with his sister, with his friends, with his mom. He's a very people oriented person, but he really loves spending time with his family. And that's one of the things that made him to put his spy life behind him. He wanted to be able to get time to be able to spend with his family. Even when he's on missions, he still calls them, texts them, checks on them, tell them how everything is going. And sometimes in life, most of us, we barely check on our families, barely check back how our siblings, our cousins, our parents are doing. And that's something we can take away from the book. In the spirit of Christmas, Christmas is a time, like at the end of the year, Christmas is a time, like through the year you'll be busy, but Christmas is that period where there will be breaks from office, from school, and you'll be able to spend time with family. So what this book is trying to say, instead of always waiting for that Christmas period to having to see your family, you can just do it all year round. Check on them, send them messages, call them. That's one very important message that we can learn from this book. The new words, there were lots of vocabulary used in this book, but the word for the day is rendezvous, which means is a military word that is used to refer to a meeting point. My ratings for this book is definitely a must read, because it's very engaging, exciting to the very end. Like the book said, action, adventure, and adrenaline from the beginning to the end. excuse me, when you start the book, you end the book, you end it on the high notes. It starts on the high notes, ends on the high notes. Very exciting book, very engaging book, and I'm going to be giving this book a must read. Don't forget about the reading challenge. This is my last video in 2025. I'd like to appreciate you all for your support, your likes, your comments, your subscriptions. We've made I got over 100 subscribers this year, so I'd like to thank you all for that. And I also thank you all for the participation in the reading challenge. And so in my next video, which is the first video in 2026, I'm going to tell you the number of books I read in the year 2026. But don't forget about the reading challenge. You can still read a couple of books. You can still sniff in a little 2-3 books before 2025 comes to an end, and add it to the number of books you have read so far. So if you're in the library, you're going book shopping, you're looking for an adventurous, you're looking for an action, a thrilling novel that you can read, that will keep your hair standing, that will keep your mind sharp, you can look out for the book Alex Rider, Never Say Die, in the library. That's all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, drop a like on the video, subscribe for some more amazing content in 2026. I'll see you all in 2026. Also, always remember that readers are leaders who are way ahead of others. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.